What's up, Weekend Warriors, and welcome back to another TokuCHATsu. It's on a Saturday for the first time in a while. I am El Chizo. Pardon me. You go first.
Player and
El Chizo Reviews, and I just woke up.
And I made this. The Den Driver and the...
It's actually just called the It's just called the, I believe it's just called the Deno Belt.
Yeah, the Deno Belt and the... You know this name more than I
do. Dengasher.
The Dengasher, okay. I'll remember it as I progress in the show.
So, today we're going to be talking mostly about Kamen Rider, and as always, we're going to start off with our thoughts on the latest review of X8. You have seen it, right?
Yes, I've seen it.
Would you like to give us a brief rundown of the major events in this episode? Just the major ones?
Basically the main villain, or the big boss is causing havoc. Again, I'm bad at remembering names, so please bear with me.
Oh, Game Deuce causing havoc across.
Yes, and then also Kuroto Dan is taken into custody by the government. And
well, there's a battle between Laser and Genom.
Sorry.
That happens first. Important thing there that dealing with the Game Deuce virus.
Yes. Which is needed to neutralize Game Deuce in order to defeat him. So there's a battle to make Kuroto Dan, Neo Kuroto Dan, pretty much immortal. So they're testing this virus on him that see if it can neutralize into a cure. Laser succeeds.
And creates a new double gashette called Mighty Dr. Double X.
Yes, and then...
It seems to me like it's a bootleg of a bootleg.
Yeah, it's a bootleg of a bootleg. And then Dan Kuroto is sucked into a bubble driver and given to the feds.
Yep, and he throws his little tantrum.
Yep, and then... I'll explain what he becomes at the end. But then after that, they use it on Deuce, and he becomes, or he's defeated, if I'm correct. Either that or he gets sucked into Kronos. I don't remember quite well.
Kronos kills him and then absorbs him.
Yes, that's what it was, yeah. Kills him, then absorbs him, and then they escape, and then Dan Kuroto is still on the team, but he's in a prison cell somewhere else.
He's in the timeout corner.
Yeah,
he's been locked. Well, actually, he's been locked in Poppy's arcade cabinet.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the actual prison that was just projecting the screen of where he was.
No. Like, he's digital, so they can keep him locked in a computer.
Okay. And so he reveals his name to be now Dan Kuroto Deuce.
Same friggin' thing.
Yes, and then they say same whatever. His ego is strong ever.
I like him as a character. I really do. I think he's hilarious.
I miss Lovico, though.
I don't.
He was hilarious. I mean, remember that scene where his head's over large when he's in a crowd?
I found him annoying. Like, everything I liked about Dan Kuroto is I disliked about Lovelica.
Okay. I can understand that. Well, any predictions for next episode?
Well, I feel that Mighty Dr. Double X will get used by Laser. That's what I'm thinking.
Another thing is, remember how we last TokuCHATsu we were talking about how Deuce was going to be the main villain. We thought.
That we did think that, didn't we? But it turned out something else
Yeah, it turned out to be sucked back into Kronos.
to boost
Do you
his
think
power.
Deuce? Yeah. Do you think he'll come back?
I should hope so, because they made him out to have a personality, and we didn't really see it.
Right. I think we'll see it eventually. He'll be released back out when Kronos has another anger outbreak.
That's a very good. That's a very good assumption.
So I noticed that something usually horribly goes not according to plan when Kronos has an anger outbreak.
You're
And
right.
Doesn't go to his plan.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
His anger is his downfall. That's his weakness, I think.
I think that'll be. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that'll be the end of him.
So I think Duke will come back.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he was too good of a big boss there to just be taken off like that. We didn't see enough of him yet, anyways. So I think he'll be back.
Yeah, they got to bring him back. I mean,
Is that it for X8?
I want to talk very briefly on just my feeling on Mighty Doctor Double X.
Okay.
I don't really think it needed to be hyped up as much as it was, because literally it's just a palette swap of Mighty Brothers Double X.
That is true. Isn't it just black and white? I saw something on
it. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. It's from Zombie, doesn't it? The black and white colors. Endangered Zombie.
It might. I think it might.
Okay. Yeah, I think that they were just trying to. They wanted an excuse to resell it in a different color. Maybe. The doubles.
Very fair. Like.
And it just conveniently.
The Gashat's one thing. Because like, we've had double Gashats in similar styles before.
Yeah.
But the costume is just lazy.
Yeah, it is. It's just
because like Mighty Brothers Double X, yeah. But here's what makes me mad: you can buy the toys for Mighty Brothers Double X, the action figures. But if you buy Mighty Doctor Double X, you're buying the same thing again.
Just in a different color?
That's why I don't buy repaint Transformers. Well, I don't buy them if I don't already own that mold.
Okay. Yeah, have you noticed that the Michael Bay the Bayverse Transformers did that an entire lot, just repaints?
Yeah.
That was big. Especially with the RCs.
So, yeah, I guess that's it for X-Aid.
Now, let's get into Climax.
Kenny here has just started watching Kamen Rider Den-O. It's personally my favorite season. I know a lot of fans dislike it, but so we're going to be talking about that for a little bit. He's only just started. He's up to episode 3.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about some not very plot ruiny parts of the series, as well as some other stuff concerning Kamen Rider Den-O.
All right. Shall I start from what I've
Please
seen so
do.
far? All right. So our story begins with a young. Again, you're going to have to help me with names. Those are complicated names to remember.
The main character is Ryotaro.
Ryotaro is like young adult, very wimpish, typical kid who can't defend himself, type thing. And it starts off with him. He's having a really bad day. He's riding a bike, then slips down, ends up in a mess with these bullies, and then they beat him. He gets knocked down, and then the Den-O line comes by, and then the
Den-liner.
And the card falls off.
His rider pass.
Yeah, the rider pass happens to fall near the incident where the bullying is going on, and then he takes the hits, and then sees the eyeball as the keychain. Uses that as an excuse to get away, so he drops that one to the ground, and then runs for it, and then into Momotaro, which
Momotaros.
Momotaros, which is a Imagine, which wants him to offers to grant him a wish, but he has to do something in return for him, and he keeps running from it. And on other thing, it him, and I think I'm skipping a scene. I think he goes to the Den-liner first, and he's meet up with the girl before it possesses him.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah. So that he meets up with them. He's not buying any of this. He's too afraid to deal with any of this. So he goes back to his normal life. And Momotaros possesses him after him saying that he stole the keychain when he didn't. And Momotaros takes over his body. He has spiky hair up, a red line across, and then beats them with a pole. And Momotaros gets out of his body, and he's like, "What's happening? Why am I doing this?" He's clueless to the whole situation. And then he then this one Majin is trying to get has gotten to the kid who's looking for his keychain. So and he struck the deal. So now No, the Urataro.
Urataro.
That's his name.
Urataros.
Urataros.
All their names end in Taros.
Urataros is has finally got given in to, and it decides to try to transform into Den-O, and he kind of sloppily does it because he's afraid, and ends up pulling off part of the henshin, but not the full thing. Then Momotaros takes over, completing the henshin, and he fights the Imagine that's trying to control that one kid, or the one guy. And then it ends with a cliffhanger. And then can I do all the first 3 episodes completely?
I think you're good so far. So, yes, Kamen Rider Den-O deals a lot with time travel shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see some.
I believe you were gonna explain how it goes throughout the Riderverse in general, universe.
Yeah. Well, first let's talk about some stuff that isn't too spoilery that
okay,
you can look forward to. Mm-hmm. The subplot Sakurai. Which actually leads into Kamen Rider Zero Nose's connection to everything.
Okay.
You're going to love the relationship between Zero Nose and Deneb. I believe you're also going to get a huge kick out of Sieg when he comes up.
Mhm.
So, oh, and watch out for um, things that kind of or situations that kind of repeat themselves because it does come up.
Okay.
After a while, it does become very much like a Sentai.
Awesome. I love that. I love it when something becomes goofy like Sentai.
As
Sure.
far as his existence outside his own show, Den-O is kind of like the padding that Toei likes to use. That Toei likes to use whenever they don't think enough is going on in their story.
Okay.
He usually shows up in the movies.
Right. Hasn't he been
Because,
in every Rider his appearance?
I think he has been in every Rider War. Obviously, he's been in a couple of crossovers
All right.
because he shows up in Kiva in the Kiva movie, Kiva versus Den-O. He shows up in an episode of Kamen Rider Decade, the All Riders versus Die Shocker movie. I don't think he shows up in any of the double movies, but he does show up in an O's movie. Um, he shows up in the superhero Taisen
Yeah.
with Forze, and I think that's the last we hear of him for a little while.
Okay. He was also in TokuCHATsu, you said.
Oh yeah, he had a little crossover thing with TokuCHATsu because Toei saw trains and couldn't leave well enough alone. And so they decide that magically the Denliner is compatible with the TokuCHATSU's uh, trains.
Rainbow Liner.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't like TokuCHATsu, did
Personally,
you?
I would have preferred to see the egg liner instead of the rainbow liner.
The what liner?
Ultraman thing.
Oh yeah. You don't like TokuCHATsu, do you?
I like the music. I like the concept. I even like the idea that they can swap colors, but I
Uh huh.
dislike the mech. I dislike the costume design. I do like the villains' costume designs, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't like the mech because it's so easily
It
taken
seems
out of
lazy.
context.
It's easily taken out of context and it's just lazy.
There's a reason why it wasn't adapted.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why it wasn't adapted to Power Rangers, but we're gonna try to keep it PG-13 here,
Yep.
just for this stream. Um, well, let's see, what else is there to talk about? Um, see, Den-O is actually a favorite of children because he's so much like a Sentai, whereas Kamen Rider is targeted towards the slightly more mature audience.
Yeah, like 13 and up, right?
Huh?
Kamen Riders is generally 13, like a teenager show, right? 13 and up.
Like middle school, high school level.
Okay.
The thing is, Den-O was kind of what brought those two groups together in Japan. So he keeps popping up. He gets that show gets like anime or flash animation adaptations, and
Ooh, got an anime adaptation.
they call it an anime. It's just like a little flash animation.
Oh, kind of like a little chibi show thing. Oh, nice. I should check that out.
Yeah, so it's weird because Den-O seems to be the most merchandisable rider out there.
But that's something weird. That you bring up. It's a kid friendly series, but Momotaro says the f bomb quite a lot.
Well, that's the English sub that you're watching.
Right. I assume that
He
there's a
does kind of curse himself, but it's very tame, I think, in Japan because it shows up a lot.
Yeah. The f bomb shows up a lot in Japanese.
No, not the F bomb. Just a general kind of, well, it's the equivalent of, just saying crap
Oh, okay.
when you drop something or,
Like he says, you bleeping, or like this is bleeping crazy, or whatever. He says that a lot
yep,
in the
so
English
it's,
sub.
that's just the sub you're watching. You see, the reason they have him curse so much in the subtitles is because Momotaro speaks in a very disrespectful way.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. I know he's a very aggressive, uh, tough guy like person.
Well, you see, there's different forms of speaking in Japanese. You've got excessively formal, where everything is like spoken just so. And then you've got like a semi-formal that's used with your friends and a little less formal for your family. But then you've got this really disrespectful way of speaking.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, that was my phone. I'm
And
still here.
Momotaro speaks in that very disrespectful, in those very disrespectful patterns.
Okay, that makes sense. So they weren't. He wasn't really saying a Japanese version of the f bomb. It's just used there for our understanding of it.
Well, yes, because the way he's speaking is very insulting.
Right.
It's something you would not hear out of someone who is very concerned about looking good in a social scenario.
Okay. But is he a fan favorite?
He is very much a fan favorite.
So I noticed whenever you type in Kamen or Den-O, he's one of the first things that pops up is Momotaros.
Oh yeah, well there's a bit of a problem with that. There's a bit of a thing about that. You see, the actor who plays Ryotaro
Yeah.
kind of stopped doing stuff for Kamen Rider after the series ended.
Oh, why?
But they still needed to use the character of Den-O, so they, retconned a few things, and now Momotaros can just use the belt.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's funny. Because he was in control most of the time, you know what I mean?
Wait till you see liner form. Wait till you see liner form.
Okay. Why did the actor leave? Any reason?
Huh? Uh, there was a reason, and I cannot recall it head. I think he either got sick or injured, or he just got into a scenario where he really just didn't want to be associated with it anymore. I'm not sure.
Okay. Hmm.
Um,
What is the most kid writer, so
yeah, as a matter of fact, you see Ryotaro less and less in the movies outside of the main Den-O storyline, and you see his grandson more.
okay. Well, that kind of makes me sad that he won't return ever.
What?
That makes me sad that Yotaro won't return ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's done with Kamen Rider, honestly.
Decades actor said he's more than happy to return. So that's cool.
Yeah, but that's just because Decade was like a big anniversary series.
Uh, and Hiroshi Fujioka will happily return anytime they want him.
Yeah, that's fairly true. It's just Some people just they're done. Let me adjust my lights here. Some people they just get done.
Oh, so I'm just checking something here.
While he's doing that, I wanted to talk about really briefly, because I think we've really talked all we can about, and we've actually spoken for a good half hour. So why don't we talk a little bit about costumes for a bit?
All right, cool. Let's go with that.
So the group that I'm commissioning my helmets from, I'll forgot their name again. I can't remember the studio's name, but the person I'm commissioning these helmets from is going to be sending me a pattern and some
Huh? Being here at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock? Is it 1:30 or 1 o'clock? Okay. That was just something.
she'll also be sending me some pre-cut pieces of foam that are not in a pattern yet, and I can get to work on your helmet.
Okay.
I'm going to be, like I said, using something called monocoat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's a bit like Warbler, but as I understand it, it's not as thick. And like I'll get started on your helmet after I get back from Comic-Con. I'll get to work on making your driver.
Awesome, thanks.
Because I've got all the components. Not at the moment.
Okay.
But I figured, we'd continue the stream just to fill it out so that when it becomes a video.
Okay. I don't got much time left in case they come back. Since time may have changed a bit.
Yep, well, that's fair.
I'm gonna leave off so I can.
Well, I guess.
Ready? Oh, you think we're good for now, or are you gonna continue off?
I think we've actually kind of talked this one out. Next time we'll pick something we've seen a little more completely, so that there's more to talk about.
Yeah, and guess what? This is my last week of work, so next time I'll be completely free for more hours.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right. So for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Sunday stream, I don't know. It'll be probably me solo again, unfortunately, but that's how it is for a little while.
I might be in. I think I might be in because I leave Friday. Friday or Saturday.
Okie doke. So that's it on at weekend_dojo. Remember to check us out on Facebook. If you go back to the channel page, you'll see all of our channels in the sidebar, featured channels. And go check us out. We'd really appreciate it. So thanks once again for tuning in, and I will see you later, you weekend warriors.
And stay more phenomenal, everybody. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later, man.
Later.